Have you got the teeth for beef? In this video clip that's from one of our online courses, Nana Kwaku Opare talks about why you really are vegan. I'm here outside in my Tanzanian yard. Hi, I'm Opare from Food for the Soul and Opare Institute. And here on this channel, I share tips and tools and information you can use to create a plant-based lifestyle that you can stick to. If that sounds like something you're interested in, be sure to click the subscribe button and turn on the notifications so you'll find out every time I upload a new video. I'm here in my beautiful Tanzanian garden, and these flowers, oh, they smell so amazing, just like lilacs. One of the key parts of our programs at Opare Institute is giving people the knowledge that they need in order to make their healthy lifestyle work. Because without that knowledge, you end up confused, you end up struggling and spinning and not being able to create the healthy lifestyle that you really want, so that you can consistently eat better, look better, and feel better. No exceptions. In our Healthy Eating Success program, we talk about why it is that eating plant-based is so important. And in this clip, Dr. Opare is talking about why it is that physiologically, the way our bodies are set up, we are indeed vegan.
I like to discuss from several different ways, and mostly a common sense way, why you're vegan and why we're all vegan. And I think it really comes down to, really, for me, acknowledging that we are, as a species, as an animal species, in alignment with natural law, fundamentally, or should be. When I say by that, it means that animals in the animal kingdom have a way of living in harmony with the environment. They have the ability to understand that their form, the function that they have in their body, is based upon the form that their body takes. So in the animal kingdom, animals that are designed to swim have equipment that helps them do that, like fins or gills, or blowholes on the top of their head so they don't have to lift their head out of the water to catch a breath. Animals designed to fly have wings. Animals designed to run have long legs and hooves to hit on the hard earth with when they run. Animals designed to climb have prehensile hands and prehensile feet also, the ones that can grab arms to things. And that extends also for what you eat, for what is eaten. Animals that are designed to eat other animals are called carnivores. Those animals have equipment designed to allow them to do that effectively. That is, animals that are carnivores have certain sensory capacities and physical capacities that allow them to track their prey, allows them to catch their prey once they've caught up with them, are usually very fast for short distances because they'll stalk them and sneak up on them and pounce. And they'll have teeth that allow them to grab and restrain their prey. They'll have claws that allow them to grab or restrain their prey. And they're all hunters for the most part, although there are some that are scavengers. But they have very strong eyesight, for example. Like for Eagle 20/20 would mean you're out of business. Or a hawk, they can see large distances. Whereas animals that don't eat other animals, and actually we're going to go, I want to describe you as a carnivore first, and then we can come back to animals that don't eat other animals. Animals that are carnivores have a certain kind of teeth, and there's two types of animals: carnivores and herbivores. People say they're omnivores. But actually, carnivores are actually omnivores because they also eat vegetables. Herbivores are animals that don't eat animals. So it's really carnivores and herbivores. I think man came up with the term omnivore to justify their misbehavior. The carnivores all have a certain tooth structure and jaw structure. The teeth include fangs that allow them to puncture and kill their prey. They involve jagged teeth in the back of the mouth that allows them to rip the flesh off the bones and to crush the bones. Their jaws are open straight up and down, and they open very wide, usually multiple times the size of their head, or often multiple times the size of their head, so that they can swallow large chunks relatively whole. Carnivores are animals that will all usually salivate at the sight of a dead animal. So, for example, if you're driving down the street and you believe because you have blood type that requires you to eat animals, stop at the next roadkill. Get out of the car, go over to it, and sniff it. If you salivate, you are probably a carnivore. But your dog, I guarantee you, will salivate when they see that roadkill. They'll run over, smell it, and start, they'll be interested in it. Carnivores have saliva that generally has two kinds of enzymes: lipases and proteases. A lipase is an enzyme that dissolves, that digests fat, and protease digests protein. A lot of the venomous animals that inject their poison into you from their fangs inject proteases. So they inject digestive enzymes into their prey that starts the digestion before they even eat them. Interesting. Now, carnivores have stomachs that create a very high acid content. That very high acid content is necessary in carnivores because they eat food that has very high bacterial counts. Carnivores one of their favorite foods is feces. Almost all carnivores eat feces, sometimes their own feces. They also love feces inside of fresh hot chitlins, because when a carnivore kills their prey, the first thing they eat is the delicacy, which is the intestines, the chitlins. They eat, and that's where they get their vegetable content from. So they rip open the guts, munch on the salad and inside of the intestines, and then they'll move to the other parts that are more difficult to get to. So if the concept of that is repugnant to you, you are probably not a carnivore. Now, those, as you can imagine, that's very high bacterial count. And if they were to eat that high bacterial count and didn't have a way of killing it, they would get sick themselves. And so the stomach acid in carnivores is very, very high relative to that of other animals that aren't carnivores. Which is also interesting, because if you, as a human being, trying to eat like a carnivore, your stomach acid will go very high, and you cannot tolerate that. So the answer is to take a purple pill.
Nexium.
Pop a purple pill and just keep eating the meat, No, the answer is, if you get stomach burning after you eat something, you shouldn't be eating that. You shouldn't be popping purple pills. Carnivores have intestinal tracts that are generally very short, sometimes only very slightly longer than the length of their bodies. This is because the meat that they eat will tend to putrefy inside of the system, and it must be eliminated very quickly. Also, food that they eat is generally low in fiber, other than the chitlins that they eat. And so then they need to get that stuff out. It will get stuck inside, which this happens if you as an herbivore starts to eat a high meat diet. You get constipated because your intestinal tract is 7 times the length of your body. So it's much longer. Some herbivores have much longer intestinal tracts. So if the form follows function, all the things I described for carnivores do not meet, humans do not meet those criteria. We have none of the tools or digestive facilities or equipment that a carnivore possess. Now mind you, all animals in the animal kingdom eat all of their food raw, naturally, except human beings. So the criteria is based upon, can you eat it raw? So if you can think of a meat thing other than sushi or steak tartare is pretty. Have you ever had steak tartare? I never had it. You ever had that? Herbivores generally tend to have poor vision, and people would qualify as that have relatively poor vision, especially people with thick glasses like myself. Herbivores tend to have a strong sense of smell, so they can smell the predators from coming at them, because carnivores generally tend to smell a certain way that their prey can tell. Herbivores generally tend to have large ears and can hear very well, so they can hear their prey come. We don't match those. Hear their predator coming. We generally don't have that either. But herbivores tend to have teeth that can nip in the front or cut in the front and grind in the back. Herbivores chew their food very thoroughly, and they have an enzyme in their mouth. Oh, the jaw also can go back and forth, allowing them to effectively grind their food. So if your jaw goes like this, you are probably an herbivore. Herbivores have saliva that contains an enzyme called amylase. Amylase digests starch. So when an herbivore eats starchy foods, which is what most plants tend to have in abundance, they start the digestion of that food already in the mouth. Herbivores have large stomachs, sometimes multiple stomachs, and their stomachs have relatively low amounts of acid in them. Herbivores have long digestive tracts and colons that are very effective, that's the end of the digestive tract, at reabsorbing the large amounts of water that herbivores have to mix with the starchy products, starchy foods that they eat in their intestine in order to absorb it effectively. So by those criteria, human beings are herbivores. We are not anatomically or physiologically suited to eat animals, period. So, when someone comes up with a newfangled theory about diet, such as get you into the zone, or to have your blood type diet because you have the type of blood that needs to eat meat, then you ask them, does being in the zone or being of a certain blood type negate all of the other factors that mean that I'm an herbivore? And how come if my blood type means that I need to eat animal, why do I not have teeth that I can eat beef? So it doesn't make sense. But when you see all these arguments, if someone says, well, you need to eat this, then the question is, can you eat it raw? Can you eat it safely raw? Because if you can't eat it raw, just say no. So So all animals in the animal kingdom can eat their food raw that is good for them to eat. So if you find the idea of eating raw flesh repugnant, like a raw chicken, if you find that repugnant, you're probably not a carnivore, probably an herbivore. So that is the common sense approach to how you're designed. So the other common sense would tell me that if you eat food that is designed for your body, which you're supposed to be eating, it will engender excellent health. You will not develop illnesses as a consequence of eating this food. So, let's take for example foods that have cholesterol in them. As we talked about before, cholesterol is only found in animal products. All plant products have 0 cholesterol. So, animals that are carnivores have absolutely no problems digesting and excreting whatever amount of cholesterol you want to put in their food, and not develop high cholesterol. They will not develop abnormal amounts of cholesterol in their blood. So you can give a dog a 50% cholesterol diet, they may be pretty sick and hate it, but they will not develop hypercholesterolemia. Ask your vet. Now, herbivores on the other hand, if you feed them significant amounts of cholesterol in their diet, they will all develop high cholesterol, because herbivores cannot effectively process dietary cholesterol, which makes sense because all plants have 0 cholesterol. There's no cholesterol in an herbivore's diet, so they have no need to process or digest it or excrete this stuff. Herbivores can get high cholesterol. So you make a guinea pig high cholesterol, a monkey high cholesterol, all your farm animals, you can make them all have too high cholesterol by giving them too high cholesterol in their diet.
And now I'd like to hear from you. What do you think about this? Does this make sense? What are some of the crazy things that you've heard about why it is you should not be eating vegan? What would you like to know about why eating vegan is the best thing for your health? If you'd like to find out more about our services and programs that can help you create a healthy diet and lifestyle that works for you so that you can eat better and look better and feel better, no exceptions, go to opare.net and find out all about all the programs and services and the way that Dr. Opare and I can help you reach your goals. I hope you like this video. If so, be sure to click the thumbs up button and don't forget to subscribe so you'll find out every time I upload a new video. That's it for today. Kwaheri. Goodbye.